Just when I thought I was done with Resident Evil 7, it pulled me straight back in with its second piece of DLC, Banned Footage Volume 2. So that's 2 pieces of DLC all within the first month of the game being released. Talk about striking while the iron's hot. Unfortunately though, this one wasn't quite as gripping as the first. Once again it came in 3 parts. The first was 21, and this was a chance for Lucas, the son of the Baker household, to get his chance to shine. Once again, cameraman Clancy, yep that's right, the very same cameraman Clancy from the first piece of DLC is caught, again, and is forced to play a deadly game of cards. Man, how bad a luck can one guy have? Now, I said that Lucas's role in the main game was a lot like a copycat jigsaw killer from the Saw movies, and nothing's changed here. It's got TV screens, a game, deadly traps. Thankfully I'm a huge fan of Saw, so that wasn't a problem. The problem was that a lot of this game was down to luck. As its name suggests, it was based upon the card game 21, otherwise known as Blackjack or Pontoon. You got dealt cards and had to try to make them add up to 21 without getting bust. Nearest wins, loser dies. There was a bit more to the game than that though, because of the use of trump cards. Trump cards let you mess with the rules in order to beat your opponent. Oh, that almost sounded political. They added a layer of strategy and tactics that was much needed to make it more than just a game of luck. Plus the fact that there are only 11 cards, one of each of the numbers 1 to 11, meant that you could often put your mind to it and work out who had what. Say you played the trump card that drew a 6 from the deck and nothing happened, then that meant you knew that your opponent had a face down 6, things like that. My biggest complaint though wasn't with the rules, although it did seem harsh both losing on a draw, but was the fact that no one reacted naturally to the situation. Just like the main game, people got hurt, a lot. But they always seemed to just shrug it off a few seconds later as if nothing had happened. The game should have got more and more intense as you got more and more hurt, so you'd be screaming and writhing in pain, and yet still trying to play on in order to survive. There were moments when your opponent had clearly already gone bust, so he knows he's in for some torture, and yet he still just casually says, "I'll stay." Shouldn't he be a bit more panicky at this stage, swearing and cursing at his bad luck, begging for mercy? But no, just, "I'll stay." Thank God for Lucas and his little moments of comedy to lighten things up a bit.
You enjoying this, you prick?
Next up was Daughters, probably the most interesting part of the DLC. It gave you the chance to play as Zoe and see the Baker family before the events that led to the main game. It's chilling to see this family that we've grown to know and fear live as normal, everyday people. As the chaos began and they started to transform, you could see and hear the conflict that they had, fighting with themselves to try and stay in control. It did have some replayability in that it had a couple of different endings. You were almost certainly going to get the bad ending the first time playing, but after finding a few clues and doing a couple of things differently, you could eventually get the true ending. While it was interesting to see the Bakers in the past, it didn't really tell us anything new, and it would have been nice if it was a bit longer than 10 minutes. And finally you had, I can't take this seriously, Jack's 55th birthday party. This was by far the most bizarre concept they could have come up with. It's Jack's birthday, he's hungry, so you've got to go around finding food for him until he's full. Amazingly, it kind of reminded me of the mercenary mode from the other Resident Evil titles. You had a time limit which you could extend by killing things, you'd get better as you learnt where everything on the stage was. I guess I kind of liked it. It was ridiculous, but it got a few chuckles. So within a month, the Baker household has been turned into a horde mode, a puzzle room, a card game, and a birthday party. As much as I like this setting, I feel it's become an orange with all of its juice squeezed out. Hopefully whatever new content comes out in the future will take us to new settings, and of course, introduce us to some new characters. No idea what I'm reviewing next, probably Horizon Zero Dawn, who knows, but until then, thanks for watching.